Running a business comes with a lot of what-ifs. But luckily, there's a simple answer to them. Shopify. It's the commerce platform behind millions of businesses, including Thrive Cosmetics and Momofuku, and it'll help you with everything you need. From website design and marketing to boosting sales and expanding operations, Shopify can get the job done and make your dream a reality. Turn those what-ifs into... Sign up for your $1 per month trial at shopify.com/special offer.
The First Lady of New York Radio, Joan Hamburg. Entertaining and informative. Talk Radio 77 WABC.
It wouldn't be a holiday unless I checked in with my pal, my former radio husband, Arthur Schwartz, who has his own podcast on RobinHoodRadio.com. Arthur does everything. And he's probably one of the best cooks, chefs in the city, maybe bigger than the city. He always makes what's true, and he always makes everything delicious. In fact, all the years when he was my radio husband, it was the most fattening years I ever had in radio. But we always had a great time.
I'm here, Joan,
I'm
to make
so
you
glad.
more fat.
Yeah.
Recently, I get cravings. I don't know. Do you get cravings? I get cravings for sometimes really silly things. So recently, I had a craving for those French's crispy onions that used to come in a can.
Oh, I love those. My mother used to put them on top of a casserole.
Well, so I'm going to get to that in a minute. But my grandmother used to sit and watch television and eat them as a snack. And she didn't make casseroles, but they were a great snack. I loved them. So I had to have them. Okay. Just one day I said, I need to have these. So I go to the supermarket to buy them, and they were on sale, Joan.
Oh.
That day, so it was Besher. That means it was meant to be in Yiddish. I'm craving them, and they're on sale. So I bought a canister.
Unbelievable.
It was like $6 for the large size one, which I think is 6 ounces. And I'm in Costco, and I ate them very, very happily. I went back to buy more, but they were out of them because, of course, they were on sale, so the shelf got cleared out. Right. Anyway, I'm in Costco recently, and I see they sell these in a 24-ounce bag. It's called Fresh Gourmet Crispy Onions. And how do I not buy this huge bag of crispy onions? The big part is, how do I resist not eating them all? And I have, by the way. So far, I have not eaten them all.
I'm very proud of you.
So then I turn the bag over, and there's this company's recipe for the famous green bean casserole. Yes. Another Besher thing, because that old fat. By the way, the green bean casserole wasn't invented until early mid-50s by a home economist at Campbell's Soup, who had the clever idea of using the cream of mushroom soup as a base for her casserole of string beans, topped with the crispy onions. And that has become a Thanksgiving classic over the years. And this year, I notice, a lot of people are redoing the recipe, making it more contemporary. Because the old recipe, canned cream of mushroom soup, plus either frozen or canned string beans. And as my grandmother never made this, but I did eat it probably as a teenager. I must have eaten it at a friend's house. And it always topped with those crispy onion things. But if I remember, they were made with what we call Frenched string beans, meaning string beans that were sliced along the length of the string bean. I think that was originally meant to imitate the skinny French string beans that we can now buy easily in a supermarket called haricots verts in French.
Yeah.
Anyway, so that was the original. Now, on the back of the bag here, I decided I had to do this because reading it seemed like it's a very well-written recipe, and it looked pretty reliable, and it really was, in the end, very delicious. But I did have to alter the recipe a little bit, and the first time I made it, I ended up having to doctor it a little bit, but now I've incorporated the doctoring into the recipe. So let me give it to you. Because this, by the way, I made this just for the hell of it, not for a holiday or anything.
Just
and
to
of course,
have.
it was way too much for the two of us to eat. So I distributed this among neighbors, and they all came back with rave reviews. So the only thing I would do different the third time is I might actually take the time to cut the string beans into smaller pieces. Maybe not lengthwise, which is a real, that's a task. But I might just cut them into smaller pieces instead of leaving them as whole string beans.
Okay,
so this feeds about 12 people. So if you want to make this for Thanksgiving, by the way, the leftovers reheat very well. And I have also made the mushroom sauce base for this just for its own sake, just to get the proportions right so I could give it to you, Joan. Mm-hmm. But and I find that it's real. I didn't want to make the whole casserole. But what I did is I put it on egg pasta, and it was sensational. And as we were eating it, Bob said, maybe you should make this into a casserole, use the mushroom sauce on noodles, and then you could put the onions on top of that.
That's delicious.
Irresistible. So you got to start with the mushroom sauce. And this recipe has a lot of butter, a whole stick of butter you're going to use. So half a stick goes into a large skillet, and you're going to saute a half a pound of mushrooms, fresh. It's about 4 cups of mushrooms, 8 ounces of mushrooms. The original recipe calls for cremini mushrooms. I used plain old white mushrooms. And I bought, actually, to save time, I bought already sliced ones. They were also on sale at the supermarket. And what I discovered, I never bought them before, the already sliced. But already sliced, they're a little too thick for me. So next time I will definitely slice it myself. So we're talking about half a pound of sliced mushrooms, comes out to about 4 cups, sauteed in 4 tablespoons of butter. And when they get, and I do it over medium-high heat, and when they're nice and brown and they, reduce in size too, I throw in 1/4 of a cup of finely minced shallots and let that cook another couple of minutes. And then push all that to one side of your large skillet. And on the other side, melt another 4 tablespoons of butter. And to that, sprinkle on 1/3 of a cup of all-purpose flour and stir it all together. You're making a roux to thicken the sauce, and let it cook for a minute or two. It's going to cook further later. And then you can start pushing the mushrooms back in with the roux and mix it all up. And then when it's all mixed up nicely, take it off the heat. This always helps prevent lumps. Take it off the heat and pour in 3 cups of liquid. Now you could do 2 cups of broth and 1 cup of milk, or 2 cups of milk and 1 cup of broth. I did the 2 cups of milk and the 1 cup of broth, and pour that in and put it back over the heat and stir until it's all bubbling and thickened. And you've now got your fresh from scratch mushroom soup. If you wanted to eat this as soup, you could just add more broth, and it would be a delicious mushroom soup. So now you have your mushroom base, and you're going to put that, when that's all done, stir in 2/3 to 3/4 of a cup of grated Parmigiano, good Parmesan cheese.
Ooh, this is sounding
now,
more
this
delicious.
is not from the original recipe at all. And I had to laugh because Eric Kim, I'm a follower of Eric Kim. He's a columnist, a food columnist for the New York Times. And his Asian food I eat because it's simple, homey Asian food that I can do. But he tackled this casserole recently, and I thought he mucked it up because it wasn't easy anymore. Don't ask. But anyway, I'm trying to make it as easy as possible. You need 2 pounds of green beans, as they call them these days. They're not string beans anymore, Joe.
Right.
And I top and tail them, meaning I snap off the very ends of either end, plunge them into a large pot of boiling salted water, and I don't let them – I cook them a bit. I would say that if it's a large pot of water and you put in all 2 pounds of string beans, it's going to take a good 2 minutes for it to come back to the boil. And then you're going to cook them for another 3 minutes. So altogether, about 5 minutes in this boiling water. Drain them. I do not chill them or rinse them with cold water to stop the cooking. I don't want the cooking to stop because we like tender string beans. So that's it. And then when they're cooled down enough, you can mix them in with the
mushroom.
Mushroom. Thank you. Mushroom sauce. Put it in a casserole. A 13 by 9-inch baking dish is good. Whatever you like. If you're going to bring it to the table, which is something I suggest you doing, you might want to look for something that's a little bit more decorative than a Pyrex dish, a little more pleasing to the eye. And that's it. Put it in at the last minute. You put on 1.5 cups of those crispy onions and stick it in the oven for another, I would say, 10 minutes at 350. I'm bringing this to somebody's house on
It's
Saturday.
Delicious. It sounds
and I'm
just
going to do it all ahead here, and then we're just going to put it in the oven for 15 minutes.
Okay. It's great.
So it's a great, by the way, it's a good dish even when it's not Thanksgiving.
No, yes, it
It's a
sounds
little on the
absolutely
fatty side,
delicious.
a whole stick of butter. But
What the heck?
by the way, I one day one of the times I made it, I didn't have enough milk in the house to make 2 cups of milk for this. So what I did was I used more broth than milk, and then I just added at the end literally a couple of tablespoons of heavy cream to enrich it a little bit.
Home means something different to everyone. But with Rocket Mortgage, home can mean even more. It can mean a college education, taming your high-interest debt, even a renovation. We've made it easier than ever to use your home equity. That home you worked so hard for, now it can work hard for you. Call 800-4ROCKET or visit rocket.com to find out more.
Rocket Mortgage, LLC, licensed in all 50 states. NMLSConsumerAccess.org, number 3030.
Missing out on family time because of all the noise? Enjoy the moment without straining to keep up with the conversation.
Wow, what a beautiful sunset.
Discover Nuance Audio, the new invisible hearing solution that's built into your glasses. Discreet, comfortable, and easy to use. Nuance Audio glasses help you hear better and reduce background noise, so you can get back to enjoying time with your loved ones. Find a store near you at nuanceaudio.com.
This episode is brought to you by Factor. Optimize your nutrition this year with Factor, America's #1 ready-to-eat meal service. Factor's fresh, never frozen meals are dietitian approved, ready to eat in just 2 minutes. Choose from 40 weekly options across 8 dietary preferences like Calorie Smart, Protein Plus, and Keto. Eat smarter at factormeals.com/listen50 and use code listen50 for 50% off plus free shipping on your first box. Factormeals.com/listen50, code listen50. T's and C's apply.
Oh my God, it's the coolest thing ever. Hey guys, have you heard of Goldbelly? Well, check this out. It's this amazing site where they ship the most iconic, famous foods from restaurants across the country, anywhere nationwide. I've never found a more perfect gift than food. They ship Chicago deep dish pizza, New York bagels, Maine lobster rolls, and even Ina Garten's famous cakes. Seriously. So if you're looking for a gift for the food lover in your life, head to goldbelly.com and get 20% off your first order with promo code GIFT.
God bless you, Arthur.
I made myself hungry, Joan.
Yeah, well, you always make me hungry. No matter what, I want to eat it. And I can almost taste it right now.
Well, I should make it for you. If you come to visit me, I'll make it for you.
That sounds really good. Now, when you go to a family Thanksgiving or a friend's, is it almost always turkey or you vary
this
it?
is a good question, Joan, because I'm going to my nephew for Thanksgiving, and he does not eat meat anymore. He
that's new.
Fish, but, it's already been over a year. Mm-hmm. And I thought he was eating poultry, but he told me the other day he doesn't even eat poultry anymore. He only eats fish as flesh. Meantime, his 2 daughters hardly eat anything. They would be happy with macaroni and cheese.
Right. How old?
7 and 10.
Yeah, well, that's, usually if it's white, they'll eat it or something plain.
Very funny you should say that because Sydney's favorite vegetable, the 10-year-old, is cauliflower. Now,
that actually is interesting.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, maybe you hit on it. Maybe it's because it's white.
Yeah, no, a lot of kids, that's the thing until they're over those years.
Well, anyway, point is, so we don't care about the turkey for them. The only one who really wants turkey in my family is my niece, Michelle, who likes to see a turkey on the table. I mean, it's more decorative than
I can understand that.
I understand that. So a few years ago, in fact, I didn't want to serve turkey truly. I don't even remember now what we ate, but we did buy a smoked turkey from No Dimes in Torrington, Connecticut.
Yeah, I remember them.
They're really, really good. They're still really good.
They're the best bacon too.
And yes, they did. They were early in that no nitrates bacon. Anyway, yeah. So it's a gorgeous thing. You put it in the middle of the table. You eat something else, and then the next day you have turkey for leftovers. It's lightly smoked. You can make turkey tetrazzini. You can make turkey boudin.
Turkey hash. I still have your recipe.
I mean, actually, that hash that you still make, I think, with barbecue.
I do.
Sauce.
I make your turkey hash.
That would be very, very good with smoked turkey. But you know what? My favorite thing the day after Thanksgiving, if we have turkey around, is a good turkey sandwich with good bread and
What's
good mayonnaise.
What's better than that?
I love exactly, not too much.
No, I love that. And it's hard to get it because a lot of places serve the fake turkey. I call it fake. You know, you like supermarket, you slice it, and it isn't like from the real turkey. I don't know where it's from.
No. But you know who has great smoked turkey? And I use the word great very pointedly. It is great. Is Hometown Barbecue in Red Hook. Which a lot of people, including me, say is the best barbecue in the city or even in the environs. And Hometown makes a smoked turkey that is so moist, it's hard to believe it's turkey. I know that they have it for Thanksgiving. I think by now you would have had to order it, though. I'm not sure that you can get one just by going there. They've been soliciting Thanksgiving orders for weeks already. And
all right,
I wouldn't be surprised. I don't know. I didn't inquire, but they might even have whole turkeys that are smoked.
Yeah, and
anyway.
That can be when it's good. It's really delicious.
You always roast turkeys. If I remember,
I grew up with like maybe you need a snack.
Not for Thanksgiving. You're even like.
Normal.
I'm not big on turkey because it's to me America's favorite diet food.
I always loved turkey, and my family always made it because they always had so many people stopping by, and turkey was reliable. And you could always make, if you had really delicious white bread or fresh rye bread, great sandwiches with it.
I'm going to make a confession here.
Yes.
As somebody who hasn't eaten white bread in 10 years, all of a sudden, speaking of cravings, I had a craving
for white bread
fairly recently for tomato sandwiches on white bread with mayonnaise.
You know what? I love. What's a better sandwich than if you can get a good
we bought
tomato?
White bread. We bought white bread, and then Bob segued into, what we really should be eating is French toast.
Ooh.
So I said, all right, you go buy the bread. So I said, but see if you can get a challah. Well, the store he went to didn't have challah, but it did have Arnold's, I think they call it country-style white bread. Boy, that is really good.
No, it's good and thicker than the usual white bread.
Yes, and thicker than the usual one. Made great French toast. And I think I had a mortadella sandwich on the next day. And that was
that's
pretty
so
good
funny.
Too.
That I have been craving mortadella. It's funny that you mention that because it isn't your, like everyday bologna thing.
Well, on the other hand, I really like bologna.
Yeah, I like bologna too.
Now, Carl Amer, I don't know if they still make it, but Carl Amer, which was, I think, still based in Queens, used to make sensational bologna packed into a natural skin that wasn't cylindrical like your normal bologna. It was sort of irregular. So I wondered what kind of skin it was. But anyway, I used to buy that at a neighborhood place here, but the neighborhood place closed down, and I've lost track of it. So I'm back to mortadella, which is, bologna comes from
different.
mortadella. Well, no, but I mean saying the model for bologna was mortadella.
Yeah.
It's an emulsified pork sausage, very, very fine. So I like mortadella a lot, and it makes a very good sandwich. I don't even need anything on it, but sometimes I put a smear of mayonnaise or a smear of mustard, depending on my mood. Sometimes both.
You know where I had it, and I think it was Schaller and Veva. I think it was someone brought me a sandwich, and on the sandwich was butter and mustard.
Sounds good to me.
I'm telling you, it was delicious.
Yeah, well, they make very good products, Schall and Weber. In fact, I buy their bratwurst. Don't like all the products, but the bratwurst are particularly good, and the best that I've found in New York. I'm sure if I went to Wisconsin, I'd get something really good.
Yeah.
but if I go to my own supermarket, Schall and Weber, they're right there. And there are 4 to a package, so that's 2 each.
Oh, and that's good, right.
And, when we were doing keto, it was a great convenience
The diet,
food.
right.
That and coleslaw is a keto meal.
What? Sounds good to me.
I also make a lot of braised cabbage.
What'd you braise it with?
I don't know if we're going to do this because I'm not sure I'm going to have the energy, but I happen to like turkey with red cabbage. It's a good vegetable for turkey. So if somebody is still pondering what to do tomorrow for a vegetable, braised red cabbage does not take very long. I saute an onion in regular oil, and just until it gets tender. I put in all the shredded cabbage with, you know what I've been using lately? I don't always have apple in the house, but I almost always have applesauce in the house. So I put in a little container of applesauce and a tablespoon or 2 of red wine vinegar or white wine vinegar or even distilled vinegar, any vinegar, and cook it. That's it. Just put it over low heat and let it shrink down to, red cabbage limpness.
Arthur, you
Very
make
good.
us so hungry.
Salt,
That's
pepper,
I
of course.
feel like doing that right now. Anyway, I love talking to you.
I have to hit the road, Joan.
Have a good trip. Have a happy holiday. Love
Thank
to
you.
Bob and the family, and we'll talk soon.
I hope so. Take care. Everyone,
That's
take
the
care.
one and
Have a
only
great-
Arthur Schwartz.